Hi library friends, Carissa Kellerby here from Hardesty Regional Library and Jenks Library, and it is week 6 of Book Talk Tuesday. So this week I'm sharing some LGBTQ memoirs to close out our celebration of Pride Month, and next week we start our summer reading program for all ages. Check out the library's website at tulsalibrary.org/summer to see what the modified program looks like this year. Our theme for the summer is Imagine Your Story, featuring fairy tales, mythology, and fantasy. The rest of our Book Talk Tuesdays through the end of July will be focused on different types of fantasy stories, which are some of my favorite books, so I'm very excited to share them with you. But now, on to the memoirs. Female activist and author Glennon Doyle follows her 2016 memoir Love Warrior with Untamed, a memoir wrapped in a wake-up call for herself and all women to break free of the restrictive expectations and cultural conditioning that leaves them feeling dissatisfied and lost. After her husband cheated on her, she struggled to put her marriage and her family back together. But when she meets and instantly falls in love with Olympic soccer player Abby Wambach at a book conference, she begins to rethink her reasons for staying in her marriage and reevaluate her Christian faith. Her inspirational book is filled with hopeful messages and encourages women to reject the status quo and follow their intuition. And her endearing coming out story will warm your heart. In Sorted, Growing Up, Coming Out, and Finding My Place, Jackson Bird tells his story of coming out as transgender to his family, friends, and anyone in the world with an internet connection. Assigned female at birth and raised as a girl, he often wondered if he should have been born a boy. Jackson didn't share this thought with anyone because he didn't think he could share it. Growing up in Texas in the 1990s, he had no transgender role models. He barely remembers meeting anyone who was openly gay, let alone being taught that transgender people existed out of punchlines. In this remarkable, unflinching, and uplifting memoir, Jackson chronicles the ups and downs of growing up gender confused. So many of you will recognize the author of this next book, Jonathan Van Ness, from the wonderful show Queer Eye on Netflix. In this memoir, Over the Top, he uncovers the pain and passion it took to end up becoming the model of self-love and acceptance that he is today. In this revelatory, raw, and rambunctious memoir, Jonathan shares his story of growing up in a small Midwestern town that didn't understand why he was so over the top. From choreographed carpet figure skating routines to becoming the first male cheerleader in his school's history, Jonathan was an easy target and endured years of judgment, ridicule, and trauma. Yet none of it crushed his uniquely effervescent spirit. The rest of the Fab Five has their own memoirs as well, but in the case of Anthony, he has an excellent cookbook that you should check out as well. So next, I have High School by the award-winning identical twin music artists Tegan and Sarah. In their memoir, they focus on their high school years, detailing how their early relationships, family tragedies, and high expectations shaped their rise to celebrated musicians and global LGBTQ icons. The twin sisters tell their story in alternating chapters whose topics include first loves, coming out as gay, and making music. This is a great read, especially if you're a fan. My last book is called Sissy, a coming-of-gender story. Jacob Tobiah, who uses the pronouns they, them, recounts their journey from shy, closeted, gender non-conforming kid to out and proud, young, genderqueer LGBTQ activist in this hilarious and candid memoir. Through their religious, political, and educational experiences, Tobiah discovered a need for greater cultural inclusion and anti-discrimination legislation that acknowledges the gender spectrum. Tobiah thoughtfully and accessibly captures the anguish of being placed into boxes that don't fit, how gender hurts us all by creating prisons of identity, with both kids and adults policing and bullying those who fail to conform. There are so many wonderful LGBTQ memoirs out there. I had such a hard time choosing just these few. So I encourage you to check out more and ask us in the comments below if you'd like some more recommendations. That's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you later. Bye.